I'm a resident, so now I have to pay to stay overnight accommodation in my area. What about when I need to stay for hospital appointments?
Yes, that's a valid concern, and it's exactly why it's important for residents to share their views through this consultation. National guidance says that people receiving certain benefits, like adult disability payment or disability living allowance, would be exempt from paying the levy. However, unpaid carers, people visiting family and care homes or hospitals, aren't currently included in the guidance. That doesn't mean that we cannot look at that particular issue or similar issues locally. If you think this could affect you or someone you care for, then we do strongly encourage you to share your experiences and views on our consultation. And again, what I would say is we will be listening to what you have to say.
There is nothing here to visit. Who is going to pay the levy?
Well, you might be surprised. We do live in one of the most beautiful and iconic areas in Scotland, and Perth and Kinross attracts many visitors. In 2023, for example, there were 2.3 million visits to Perth and Kinross, which had a total economic impact of 641 million for local businesses and communities. Plus, our tourism sector supports around 8,200 full-time equivalent jobs. So this is a significant part of the economy of Perth and Kinross.
I don't trust the council. They will use the money so they can cut their own budgets and use this instead.
Yes, we understand the concern. If a visitor levy is to be introduced, all money raised would be ring-fenced, meaning it could only be used to support local tourism, services visitors rely on, and attracting new events and festivals which will attract new visitors. The money would be held in a dedicated bank account for this purpose. As a council, it's also our responsibility to explore new funding options to help protect the essential services like social care, education, waste collections, etc., which everyone relies on throughout their lives.
I pay council tax. Why isn't this already covered?
If I can just also take this opportunity to say something about finances of local government. Concern has been expressed by some people already in the consultation that the council will just use this to fund public services in general. It is, of course, the case that all local authorities across the UK face challenges in maintaining services with limited finances. Perth and Kinross is actually in a relatively good position compared to many. But nevertheless, these challenges exist for us as well. What we want to do, if there is support for this visitor levy, is to use these finances that we gain from the visitor levy to, as I've said already, support services that are used by the tourism sector. That will also allow us to spend more on public services in general and to focus on that with our remaining finances. It is the case that council tax is the main vehicle that we bring funds into the council other than what we receive from government. And clearly we don't want to have council tax any higher than it needs to be, and I'm sure you don't either. So I think I would ask everyone to bear in mind that this visitor levy, if it is supported, will enable us to use the limited funds that we have at our disposal across the full range of council services.
I'm an accommodation provider, and this will just be another burden that I have to pay. How will this be collected, and what happens if I make a mistake? Will I be fined?
This is why your input is so important right now, and we want to make it as simple as possible. If a levy is introduced in Perth and Kinross, A national organisation called the Improvement Service is developing a platform to help accommodation providers submit returns to council. This will make the process consistent across Scotland and provide clear guidance to help you to do it confidently and correctly.
Who will decide where the funds are spent?
Yeah, by law, a visitor levy forum must be set up to advise on how the levy is run and spent. This forum can include representatives from a range of organisations, including the council.
You've already made the decision. Why bother asking?
No, this isn't true. No decision has yet been made, and this is why we are asking for you to be involved now at the start. The consultation is genuinely about listening to visitors, local businesses, and the community. So if you've got concerns or ideas, now is the time to speak up and complete the consultation, and we will listen to what you have to say.